This is Jets Kickoff, presented by My9.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Russ Salzberg, and welcome to Jets Kickoff, our pregame look at the New York Jets as they get ready to take on the Miami Dolphins in a primetime matchup Monday night tonight right here on My9 beginning at 8:30 p.m. And to get us started, what do you say we send it down to Andy Adler in Miami, who's there for a preview of tonight's contest. Andy?
Hey, Russ. Well, let me tell you, this is a team that there's not a lot of love between. These two teams, in fact, hate each other. I was in a locker room all week long, and that word hatred was definitely used a few times. And now it's time to take that hatred onto the field. Now, after last week, this team is ready to show that they're ready to go. But the real question is, Mark Sanchez, is this a sprint or a marathon?
It's such a long season. This thing's a marathon. And, you know, if I'm too caught up in last week, then my performance this week won't be to the caliber I want it to. So it's gone, it's behind me, but I have taken some valuable lessons from that game. And I'll implement those in my play and just remember them next time I'm on the field and hopefully play a lot better.
One thing that should help Mark play better is the addition of wide receiver Braylon Edwards, who the Jets acquired in a trade from Cleveland this week.
He doesn't always have to make a perfect throw. Now he can look at one side, two sides, three sides. He can throw the ball to Dustin. You know, he can run the ball, you know, in the middle. I think it helps him because it allows more people to be open.
What kind of an impact do you think Edwards will have on the Jets?
A big one. I think it's going to spread the offense a little bit more. You know, they can't put eight or nine in the box, you know, on the running game, and he's a good receiver.
And when it comes to division matchups, you've got to throw records right out the window.
1-3 is not reflective of the type of team they are at all. They have a very capable offense, a very good defense, especially been very good against the run, which the run's kind of been what we've been leaning on the whole time. But I think with the addition of Braylon, you know, that's going to open up things in the pass game. So I think we match up very well against the team, and if we do things we're capable of, we should come out with a victory.
Neither team really likes each other. Big divisional game. You know, even though they're 1-3, they've done a lot of good things, especially on defense. So it's, you know, Monday Night Football. You know, always a lot of hype behind that. So it's gonna be a good contest. I can't wait to play in it.
The Jets, Dolphins have been a rivalry over the past few years. You know, they was getting the better of the rivalry, but you know, we split with them last year and we won the one to count. So we plan on doing that again when they come out here Monday.
After checking in with the players, I wanted to see how Jet fans down here felt about Gang Green's chances tonight.
I am predicting that the Jets are going to whoop the Dolphins a little behind.
Thank you for censoring that.
I'm here for you. Way to go, Jets!
You took a little flight to see it today. You want to give us a little prediction as to what's going to happen in a little bit?
Jets win 24-7. Ugly.
I see you're hanging out with this guy who is definitely not a New Yorker. Are you guys still able to be friends? Is this okay?
We live together, but it's rough.
Yeah.
It's been pretty tense this week in the house. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Ready!
J-E-T-S. J-E-T-S. That's all I've been hearing, although I have heard a few Dolphin fans. I've been surprised by how many Jets fans are here. We're going to be checking in with them later in the show, but for now, Russ, we're going to send it back to you in studio.
All right, thanks very much, Andy. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Now, though, what do you say we check in with the man who draws up the Jets game plan, the head coach of Gang Green, Rex Ryan, front and center in our Coach's Corner.
All right, Rex, we all know that you expect to win every game you play, but that's not realistic. So how do you respond to the team's first loss?
Use it as a, you know, a learning tool and all that. Obviously, as a competitor, you can't stand the fact that we got beat, but they were the better team that day. I think we can improve in a lot of areas, so I'm excited to see our team in action.
Yes, Mark Sanchez had himself a bad game. But that said, I thought maybe a little much too much was made regarding the criticism because he's been anointed as, quote-unquote, the second coming of Joe Namath, if you will.
Well, I mean, you know, I think, you know, obviously the quarterback always gets too much credit when you win and too much credit when you lose. But that's just, you know, that's just part of the territory. You know, he made a couple bad decisions. You know, hopefully he'll learn from some of these mistakes and things, but by no means are we just going to say, hey, you know, we're not going to throw the ball, or we're not going to do whatever. We're going to take our shots, and this football team has a ton of confidence, you know, in Mark, so we'll let it play out.
One way Mark is definitely going to improve is the acquisition of Braylon Edwards. How excited are you about him becoming a Jet?
Oh, I'm very excited. I mean, this is a super talent. He's a rare talent, you know, guys with size, speed, great leaping ability. He's going to command the double team. You know, when you got him and Jericho outside, that's a great combination. That should open things up for a running game, should open things up for Dustin inside. So I'm really excited to have Braylon on our football team.
You're facing a young quarterback this week in Chad Henne. In the words of one of your linebackers, Bart Scott, we want to open up the gates of hell at him.
Well, I mean, we certainly don't want them to be comfortable back there, and you know, but it starts with handling their running game. I mean, they're running the ball right now better than any team in the league, and all the wildcat and all that other kind of stuff that they do. You know, you got to prepare for it. It takes time, preparation time, and we got to stop the run first, and then we'll worry about getting at the quarterback second.
All right, moving right along now. What do you say we check in with Audrey Puente for a look at the weather for tonight's game? Audrey?
Well, Russ, it looks like a very warm night for football down in Miami. With the kickoff time at about 8:30, we are expecting temperatures to be into the mid-80s, and they'll last that way right through the entirety of the game. The winds will be relatively light out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour, so that won't be much of a factor. Sky conditions will be very nice. They'll be relatively clear with just some high, thin clouds around. So overall, just a very warm night for football, not only for the players, but also for the spectators. Everyone enjoy the game.
Still ahead on Jets Kickoff.
Thomas Jones wants to be known for being more than just a football player. Hear what he's up to off the field to make that thought a reality. Then, can Mark Sanchez bounce back from his first career loss? I get the inside scoop from the team broadcaster, Bob Wischusen.
You're watching Jets Kickoff.
All right, remember, you can watch all the action from tonight's matchup, Jets-Dolphins, right here on My 9, beginning at 8:30 p.m. Up next, Duke Castiglione sits down with Jets running back Thomas Jones, who tells us he has more to offer than just X's and O's. Duke?
All right, Russ, thank you very much. You know, last year the Jets' Thomas Jones led the AFC in rushing with over 1,300 yards. Matter of fact, it was his fourth straight year that he's reached the 1,000-yard mark. But as I found out when I spoke with Gangrene's number 20, there's more to this guy than just football.
You say you're a football player, and that's what you do, but that doesn't define you. What do you mean by that?
Most guys that play football in the NFL are naturally blessed with ability and are able to go out there and do what we do every Sunday. You know, on the field, you know, you kind of relentless and you want to win and you're passionate. And then off the field, you know, I consider myself, you know, just a normal guy, you know.
You have a record label out. What kinds of artists do you have?
I have a label. It's called Out of Pocket Entertainment. It's an independent label. I started it 2 years ago. I have an artist, an R&B singer from Atlanta named Miko, and a hip-hop artist from Columbus, Ohio named T-Tone. You know, growing up in Virginia, you know, I'm from a small town, 4,500 people. You know, I was forced to listen to all kinds of different music, and it made me have a great respect for music and a love for music. You know, a lot of guys, they look at my iPod and they laugh at me sometimes because they'll see Patsy Cline on there, they'll see Fleetwood Mac or Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, and I guess they look at me.
The big bruising running back listens to Patsy Cline.
Yeah, you know, they wouldn't expect me to listen to that kind of music, but you know, I just love music. I always have.
Your brother's in the National Football League. He's with the Seattle Seahawks, and you guys as a family are writing a book. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, growing up in Virginia, where I'm from, is a big coal mining area. My mother and my father both worked in the coal mines. Both my grandfathers worked in the coal mines. So, you know, I'm actually writing a book, and it's called Blessings from the Dust. You know, obviously, basically, Blessings from the Coal Dust, because that's where we come from, Virginia, coal mining town. And it's basically just telling kind of our story, you know, growing up in a small town with, you know, not a lot of opportunities. And then, you know, for everyone to make it out and go to college, me and my brother both to play in the NFL and be successful. And, you know, it's just kind of one of those good feel-good stories, and should be.
What do you see yourself doing 10 years from now?
I love acting. Obviously, with playing football, my time is pretty restricted. But, you know, I try to take advantage of the opportunities I have in the offseason to do a lot of different things. I love music, you know, with my label, my artists, and like I said, there's so many different things that I like to do. You know, I'm blessed to be in a great city, a great environment where there are a lot of opportunities, and, you know, I just want to make sure I'm taking advantage of them.
All right, from the backfield to the booth, I had a chance to break down the guys in green with their play-by-play man on ESPN Radio, our insider, Jets insider, that is, Bob Wischusen.
All right, Bob, what did we learn about the Jets from their first loss of the season?
That their quarterback's a rookie. I think everyone kind of forgot that after the first 3 weeks. He made some rookie mistakes, working through some issues, obviously, but when you're the first rookie to go 3-0 since the merger, that tells you how hard it is for a rookie to win in the NFL, and he was due for one of these.
To me, I thought a little much too much was made about Sanchez's performance against the Saints. Yes, he had a bad game, but I think, you know, part of the problem is people's expectations anointing him as the second coming of Joe Namath.
Yeah, no question. I mean, obviously, when you win your first 3 games, you're in New York, you're drafted 5th overall, there are huge expectations that go along with that. Probably elevated expectations too high through the first 3 games. He's going to have games like he had last week.
Mark Sanchez also has a new toy now in one Braylon Edwards.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they deploy him, even after only a few days of practice. But Braylon Edwards is going to have an effect on games, even going on through the rest of the season. He's going to loosen defenses up. The Jets can't run the ball, not because their offense has been underperforming the way that, you know, it's been written about or talked about. There are 8 guys on the line of scrimmage on every play just about, and you can't run when teams stack the box until Mark Sanchez proves he can make you pay for that by loosening you up with the pass game. You know, that's the main reason for his acquisition.
Other than seeing how Mark Sanchez responds, anybody in particular you're looking for?
I think really the defense, just the front 7 of that defense to keep up what they have been doing to this point. They have been dominant, but this is a different kind of attack. This is basically, from a run game standpoint, the type of attack that the Saints are as a passing game. I mean, Miami is arguably the best overall run group in the league, and they do the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown. I would love to see how the Jets, if they can just man up and stop the run tonight, and now all of a sudden, if you could put Chad Henne in his 2nd professional start and some 3rd and longs, you know, that's how you're going to make your money tonight if you're the Jet defense.
Still ahead on Jets Kickoff.
Bart Scott is talking smack. We'll tell you to who and how his trash-talking style all got started. Then, he's a rookie sensation on the field for the Jets. But Mark Sanchez is learning some valuable lessons with his time spent off the gridiron as well.
You're watching Jets Kickoff.
All right, folks, welcome back. Jets at Dolphins right here on my 9 in just a bit. But first, this past week, I had a chance to sit down with one of the keys to this outstanding Jets defense, number 57, linebacker Bart Scott.
How tough was this week, Bart, for you after the team's first loss?
It's tough because, you know, winning is a habit and you get used to it. But you know, the loss, you have to take it in perspective and understand that we lost to a good football team. And, you know, that was an opportunity to learn and be better. I think this is an opportunity to really show what type of character and the resilience of this football team.
How do you expect Mark Sanchez to respond to his first loss, which was obviously a tough one?
All we can do as veteran players is let them know that we've been there, done that. You know, we don't always have our best day. You can't have self-pity in this game. You have to have a short memory, and you have to believe in yourself because players and the team around you can sense that, and people feed off of that. If you're confident, you know, throw the ball. You're gonna miss 100 shots that you don't take.
You're one of the leaders on this team, and Mark likes to talk about you and your quote-unquote smack talk.
I'm just being me, you know, and it's nothing pre-scripted or anything about it. You know, I've always been this way. I'm just a competitive person, you know, and that's how I was raised growing up. You know, that was football for me growing up in the inner city of Detroit. It was the chatter, it was talking, and it's basically, I take it back to that my team is better than yours, and I'll prove it, and I'll do everything I can to back that up.
How does Calvin Pace and his return improve this defense?
Well, I think with his versatility, you know, it's hard to duplicate 6'5", 270 pounds, you know, able to run like a basketball player up and down the court. It allows you to do a totally different things of what teams have been watching on film so far.
Bart, I have to say, sitting here with you, you look like a guy who's extremely happy with your decision to come here and happy about being a New York Jet.
Exactly. It was my opportunity for me to make my own legacy and step out of the shadows of the great defense that I was a part of. You know, and I'm just excited I have a young group of guys that's excited and mixed with the great veterans and leadership all over this place, and I can hopefully be a part of, you know, doing something special here and be part of, you know, Rex's legacy as a head coach.
Sounds good. All right, now what do you say we send it back down to Andy in Miami, who recently caught up with some members of Gang Green, making an impact off the field. Andy?
Hey, Russ, let me tell you, things are crazy right now. The fans are heading into the stadium as we speak. But as for the players, we know they're busy. We know that they're doing good things on the field, but they're doing great things off the field as well. It's the segment we like to call the Jets Among Us.
This past week, several members of the Jets set out as part of the NFL's Hometown Huddle initiative to make a difference in the lives of some special needs children in our area. Ryan McKee and quarterback Mark Sanchez lent a hand along with volunteers from the United Way. It's all about renovating the fitness and play area of the PG Chambers School in Morris County. The school helps children with disabilities develop confidence in their abilities in an effort to lead richer and fuller lives.
This is something that hits close to home. Our player development director, Dave Zott, his son used to go here to PG Chambers School here. And we wanted to come back and give back a little bit and let them know how much we care in this community about their support every Sunday. And, you know, well, we go out every Sunday and try and have great games, and we're trying to win the Super Bowl every day. The people here are winning the Super Bowl for these kids.
The estimated cost of the project is close to $50,000, with students being able to utilize the state-of-the-art fitness equipment aimed at improving the upper body strength, balance, and agility.
This has been a big turnaround for them, as we understand. So this is my first time here, but they said that it was a sand pit before. They had a concrete surface over there, and we put down a safer plastic surface with a big Jets logo on it. So these kids will be Jets fans, and they'll be a lot safer, so it's great.
It's all in line with the NFL Play 60 program, which encourages young fans to be active for at least 60 minutes a day. But for the Jets' young quarterback, it was more about learning a lesson while giving back to others.
We all have our struggles and difficulties. You know, the guys here from the team are fortunate enough to play on Sundays, and you know, the fact of the matter is these kids haven't got that opportunity, but the opportunities they have, they're making the most of them.
Still ahead on Jets Kickoff.
The question is, do you know your foe?
Andy Allen put some of the guys from Gang Green to a special Dolphins trivia challenge. Know your foe, straight ahead. All right, folks, welcome back. Jets, Dolphins coming up in just a few moments. Don't forget you can catch all the game action right here on My 9 starting at 8:30 p.m. Now let's send it back down to Andy in Miami, who earlier put Gang Green to a trivia challenge, so to speak.
That's right, Russ, and things are getting loud here because the game is only a moments away. But you know what? We've been talking to the players all week, and yeah, they know their playbook. But the question is, do they know their foe?
Know your foe.
Who is the all-time leading rusher in Dolphins history?
I have no clue.
Larry Zonka?
Larry Zonka.
Ooh, that's pretty good, but can you spell it?
wait. C-Z-O-N-K-A.
Does it start with an S?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
It starts with a C, S-O-N-K-A?
Is it C-Z-O-N-K-A? In what year did the Dolphins go undefeated and register the only perfect season in NFL history?
Oh, dang. What was it, 68 or 69? 1972.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, 1972. It was 72.
Rock star. What is the current name of the stadium the Dolphins play in? Now, the venue has had 4 names. What is the current name?
I'd like to phone a friend.
Is it Dolphin Stadium? Land Shark Stadium.
Land Shark Stadium.
Very good.
Jimmy Buffett's beer.
In which 1994 Jim Carrey movie did the Dolphins Hall of Fame quarterback Dan Marino play himself? Oh.
Ace Ventura. Pet Detective. Ace Ventura.
Very good. See that, you know.
Yeah, because I know Dan Marino went to Pitt.
Okay, this Miami restaurant is world renowned for its stone crabs. A, the Miami Crab Shack. B, Joe Stone Crabs, or C. Krabby Rex's Place?
I say A.
A.
Joe's.
I know that one. Come on, I know my food.
All right, thanks, Andy. Well, that's a wrap, folks, on our Jets Kickoff. I'm Russ Salzberg. I'll see you after the game with the post-game story on My 9 News.